Also, I decided not to respond because I was about to give birth. I wanted to enjoy my child. I wanted to enjoy every step. I deserved to, even if people were trying to put it in my head that I don't deserve it, you know. So that was the first one.
Thank you. I think there's something that I'm sure most of you also want to know. How do you protect yourself emotionally? You know, how do you make sure that because you're human and hate hurts at all levels. How do you protect yourself emotionally?
I think I mean, you said that we have tough skin. You know, there's really no easier way of saying this than nobody really has that capacity to handle hate that comes at such an extreme level. So for me, how I protect myself intentionally is that unfortunately, I did go for therapy at some point because this space was becoming a platform where I was making people happy and I was not being my authentic self, where I had to literally not even have a voice just so that people don't have an opinion. And I think my therapy was just also because of many other things, maybe work pressure, a lot of things that I needed some healing on. But how I protect myself is that I've become very intentional, like I told you. I literally, if you look at my page, you're just going to see happy Lillian, which is very sad because, like Ivy said, we don't have happy days every other day. But am I going to have a fight with my boyfriend and go and tell you guys, oh my God, no. So I protect myself by being a happy person in that space. And people gravitate towards happy people, I think. And then also, secondly, I also sieve out very quickly. I just come across, and like I said, there are few for me nowadays. Maybe I'm just a different person and I don't attract as much bile. But the minute I see something that doesn't sit well with me, you're blocked and you're deleted. And, you know, people will, in fact, the weirdest thing is that the people who hate on you are the same people. So even if you block them, they'll go open a proxy and hate on you. And then if you click on that profile, you'll find 0 posts, 0 followers. So this person doesn't even like really essentially exist. So you might think that you have a constituent of people that really don't like you or that are opposed to you, but they're not there. It's just one angry idle person somewhere who has decided, I'm obsessed with this Lillian and I'm going to make her life miserable. So I sieve out the hate. I'm very positive. I live in a very positive space where I don't have time. And then I'm also so busy. I really, you know, how you like, you know, for instance, these phones have become part of us. And so you're like constantly everywhere. You're with your family. You're just going through the gram. You're looking at what people are saying. You're also looking at now, what other blogger has posted about who, the latest gossip. I had to equip myself with content that is value add to me and sieve out the negative. And somehow it just becomes your way of existing where you don't entertain it, so you don't see it, and it doesn't come at you. But like I said, it's not easy. It just comes with years and years of saying, by the way, okay, you guys, leave me alone now. I'm going to have to live my life quietly. Yeah.
As I come to you, Ivy, you said something very important, something called self-care. You also have to practice self-care. And one way of practicing self-care, which I know your generation will not agree with, stay away from your devices, even for a day. You know, you see some of you are laughing and smiling. Yeah, not when you wake up, the first thing is, where is my phone? Also, take time away from, because we've been conditioned that without this phone, the world has stopped. Why, sweetheart? No, the world has not stopped. It's still going on. So, Ivy, to you, how do you protect yourself emotionally? Especially you being a new mom, knowing there are 2 people who are looking up to you, who need your attention and who need you healthy and sane.
Yeah, that's true. So for me, I'm fortunate enough to have a very supportive family. I'm very close with my siblings, my parents, my cousins. I'm very close with my friends. And so I have never felt the need to vent, to come and vent online. If something happens to me like this Wakanda thing, hapa nimewambia story, that was the best way I've said it before. I was letting it out. I was like, these people, do they know me? I can do this. So I let it out with my my circle, my tribe. They're the ones who get to see my real reaction to things and remind me of who I am, because they know who I am. You don't have to convince the whole world that you are who you are. You just have to be, and eventually they'll realize that, oh, this person is like that. Many a times people have come into my DM to say, oh, when I came here, when I followed you, it was because of this and this, but now I see you're so nice, all that. And I'm like, sama tu kweli, uliko unatafuta udaku, sindio? But it's okay, it gets the best of us. So I talk to my family, my friends. I also do go through therapy. I've paused for a while, but yes, I had to go through therapy as well. I want to also just put it out there that going for therapy doesn't mean you're struggling. You can actually go to therapy to cope. You can go to therapy to just share, hear your thoughts and see where you're at emotionally. You don't have to be in the pits to start therapy. So it does help to have someone who is unbiased, hear what you're going through, and help you work through some things. What else do I do? Like I've said, I use the apps the way they're supposed to. I block so many people. Oh my God. I just see, sometimes even I might have misconstrued the comments. Maybe they didn't mean to be mean, but I'm like, you caught me on a bad day. Block. If I don't understand what you're saying, or if you hurt me, or say something about my partner or my kids, I block. I just block you. Instagram has helped us a great deal by saying block and any other accounts this person might create. So they've stopped what Lillian has said, one person having 100 voices is over in Instagram. And for that reason, Instagram is a very safe space for me. Like she said, the other thing you need to know about these apps, what you scroll, what you like and see is equals to what you look for. So if you follow all the gossip pages, trust me, all the new ones that are created will be recommended to you. You understand? So I had to unfollow a lot of gossip pages. I had to follow things that are helping me become a better mom, things that are helping me spiritually, things that are helping me be more intentional about who I am authentically, stuff like that. I had to delete and actually be intentional about who I follow. Same to Twitter. You just, what comes at you is what you look for. So be intentional in that regard. And again, as Lillian has said, being one of my hashtags that I've always put on my photos is peace and light, because that is what I want to exude. That's what I'm about. That's the space that makes me feel happy. And I have attracted people who bring me peace and light. Even when, let's say on a gossip page, people are trolling me, saying so many mean things. In my DMs, it's full of people who are like, don't care about that. You're okay, you're good. And it's a stranger. So I can say that as much as I have experienced a lot of, negativity, a lot of violence from the online space, it has opened me up to being able to relate with people who I wouldn't have otherwise, because we don't know each other in real life. And they help me because they're as positive as me, or help me up through the times I'm not. So, in regards to mothering, sometimes I have to be open about struggling, because some people just assume that, oh, you make it look so easy. Of course, why would I post me struggling? Everyone puts their best foot forward online, but that doesn't necessarily mean so. So I try to post some of my struggles as well, so that people can understand that it's human to not be okay. But, one of the things I like to say is never let a hater see you sweat. So hata nikikuwa na stress aje, no. I will never look like my stress. Labda ni share, but I will never look like it. So that's how I protect myself online.
I like when you said that men are attacked more for what they say, but women are sexified. It's either what you're wearing, or how big your bum is, or sorry, I mean, this is a safe space. So yeah, I mean, we're objectified, and so it becomes, I mean, it narrows down and really belittles the female in the sense that you're not seen for, say, your profession. She's an advocate, brilliant. Would she be put on the same, or would she be judged the same way as a male advocate, for instance, if things went south in either way? It would be more what she did, what she said. I mean, so we're not, for instance, I'm a journalist, and I can tell you, in our newsroom, we are, and I'm sure Jerida will attest to this as well. When you look at the male and the female proportion, the women are so few. I don't know if it's because, you transition to being a mother and you have to be home at a certain time and these jobs are so time consuming. I don't know. But what I'm getting at is that how we can make this a safe space is by being our sisters' keepers. Because half the time, when you look at some of these pages, and I silently follow some of our very extreme socialites, some of them are my friends, and some of the hate that comes there is from your fellow woman, like your fellow woman actually going to your page and finding a reason to say something so nasty about you in your face, as in not even privately, like DM me and tell me, "Ay, apo ulichoma." No, like in your face. So I think as women, if we could celebrate each other, maybe look at Lillian and don't see beyond what she's wearing or what she's doing, but see perhaps mentorship. Reach out, perhaps look at somebody that you admire, Ivy, whatever. Maybe you want to be a lawyer, maybe you want to be a doctor. Are we looking at each other's pages as places where we can say, "Guy, lakini unaona siku hizi venye anakaa, what's going on?" Or are we looking for the value we are getting out of those people? We waste so much time on the petty and the trivial. For me, the reason why, for instance, I have different followers of different ages, and I also follow different people of different ages, is because there's something we can get out of everybody. Say, for instance, I used Sandy as an example, and I don't want to, preach the message of she's so strong, she has her own silent battles. But when you see a 21-year-old who has lost a limb, and she is a TikToker who has even, attracted people like Diamond, Zuchu, and she's out there doing her thing and living her best life, there's got to be something else to this person. So I've learned so much about her, and I think it's all about that. It's about being more intrigued with the stories of people and what we can get out of them. I'm sure by interacting with you, I like the way you said age is so liberating, because I feel like that. I feel that way in a lot of ways. So just learn to listen to people, look at their content, see what type of person is this person. I'm sure by following Ivy, for instance, she's 26. You guys are young. You're not too far from that age. You're seeing a young mom who's living her best life. She looks good. She's just had a baby. She's here. So let's try and see the positives in people, and that way we'll protect this space. If anyone wants to hate on us, at least let's let the men do it. And then that way we'll have like an army of women who protect each other. If somebody says something bad on my page, be the first person to run there and defend me, even if you don't know me. Just because you're my sister and you know for sure Lillian doesn't put out things that should attract such attention. So let's protect each other. Let's not engage in trivial online wars that are not value add. Let's instead ask ourselves, where do I see myself in 5 years? Do I like what Ivy is doing out there? Can I learn from her? I can assure you, if you DM her, when people DM me and ask me things like Riera University, I went because of a DM. Just be so thirsty to get knowledge out of people that are at a space where you want to be. And for those that you follow that you feel are not value add, just don't be in that space. I think that's the best way I could answer that. Let's just be positive and let's protect each other out here. Because if we don't, then we're just going to be wasting a lot of time and not really growing each other. Yeah.
I really like what you said. You really summed up a lot. There's a certain person on Twitter, I don't want to mention his name, and he really trolls women. And when we were being told, yes, he really trolls women. And we were being told they are so organized to a point they have a WhatsApp group. When they see something funny about a certain woman, especially women like her who have voices online, a message is just sent on the group and they all come out gun blazing. I wish we could do the same, you know? And we're seated here, but we've been what we call second perpetrators of online violence. You see a funny meme created out of a woman, you're like, you forward it to a group of 256 people. Already, you're also part of it. You know, let's protect each other. Or somebody was like, no, me, I just put emojis laughing. So you're actually pushing the conversation forward. So let's try and protect each other. You know, like, let's create this army. When I see a woman being attacked, I don't need to know you. You know, I just know you're a woman and you need my voice on it. And I always say, actually, you don't need to go there and become rude. You can go there and say something so positive that the next person who wants to say something negative will be like, oh, you know, you've already killed the vibe. So let's try and protect each other online. Because I keep saying the online, you know, like internet is just a blank check. It's you who decide how much to pay yourself, you know, and we don't have to be pushed out of that platform because of the toxic nature of it. So again, safe spaces.
I think for me, I'll take the route of work on yourself. You know, when you're secure in yourself, when you learn who you are, when you are invested in yourself and being better, you don't have time to go and, you know, be jealous and project your insecurities on someone else for living a life you wish you had, or for, you know, doing something that you're not brave enough to do, you know, something like that. I feel like most of the people who bully or troll people do so because they want something that you have and they can't get it, whether it's the peace and light, whether it's the, you know, assumption that you have so much money, whether it's your relationship, your children, all that. There's something that they see that, you know, they want. And I tend to do that with myself as well. When I go to someone's page, you know, or more of these celebrities, whenever they do something and I have something, you know, the first thing I can say is, siwezi fanya hivyo exactly. Wewe hauwezi. Yeye ameweza. Wachana na yeye. You understand? So work on yourself, be secure in yourself, be focused with who you are, who you want to be, where you're going, how you need to get there. Go to someone's page because they're helping you get where you want to be. Not because you want to go there and start, you know, pulling them down or telling them, I don't think you should do that. Constructive criticism is, you know, it's welcome, but people are rarely constructive, you know. So if you can't say it in a good way, don't, and especially if you don't know someone that way, they have their own people who are going to tell them, I don't think you should have done this, you should have done this in a better way. So I think you have to be secure in yourself, and also don't entertain such things from other people. Let people know that, one thing, my mom always tells me that I'm the one who brought body shaming awareness to my family, because I was like, it's not fair. When someone is big, you have a problem. When someone is thin, you have a problem. And no one chooses their body. We just find ourselves in this body. So, and everyone sees themselves in the mirror, the first thing. So, kenye unamwambia anajua. You don't have to. So be that person. People are like, when someone is about to share some tea with you, they're like, lakini najua tu ataniambia, ataki kusikia. Be that person. Let people know that you're not about that life. You're not the one to sit with and chat nonsense with, you know, just because, that you're more about empowering people, making people feel better. And when you can't change something, you let it go. So I would say just work on yourself. Be you, work on yourself.
So I'm praying that I'm a vessel that will speak wisdom. You know, if somebody writes something about you that's not true, I learned with time that there's a new scandal every day, and that you respond to that, you give people, you even now let people who didn't know that story know. Why are you assuming everybody is aware about that rumor? I wouldn't respond personally. There'll be a new scandal tomorrow, and if you know yourself, then you have nothing to prove to people. The people who know you, you know yourself. I wouldn't pay attention to that. And in terms of the toxic boss, I don't want to speak about my own personal experience, but you will get a sense that female bosses somehow come across as more Like they're just harder on you. But I want to tell you that when you're in an intern space, you have to manage your expectations in the sense that look at the bigger picture. You're there for the job. You want a job opportunity. Actually, a lot of people get employed from internship. I got an employment from internship. And I did face a lot of that toxicity. Maybe you're just cuter. She just wishes she was as young. I don't know. Those are her issues. But for me, I would look, and that's why I preach positivity all the time. So this toxic boss has her own insecurities to deal with. But you, the bigger picture is that you want a job out of that opportunity. So you're going to throw tantrums and lose an opportunity because of her, or are you just going to smile at her that resting bee face? That there's nothing you can do. You can't penetrate. I know why I'm here. I know it takes a lot of self-will and when you're so young, you can be so sensitive. But even to date, after my years in this industry, I still do deal with that toxicity. And I've learned to look at the bigger picture and say that I know where the prize is, and I'm not going to let sideshows distract me. So with such people, you embrace them with grace. You don't confront them. And lucky for you, it's an internship. If you don't like it, you can move on elsewhere and get a job with a better work environment. But those things happen in the spaces that we work in. And it's sad that it's a woman, but you're likely to face that from another and another and another. I think the wisdom comes from how you navigate through such people and whether or not you let them get to you. Because now if you're like, whatever, I can't take this, then she wins. Then you don't get, an employment opportunity there or elsewhere, because already you need a referral from there. So maybe talk to HR if it's extreme and it's getting to now your mental health. Maybe talk to HR, but also just weigh whether or not this is an important person enough for you to even be feeling so bitter about it. I think that's how I would explore it.
Because I think the only thing I can add about a rumor, it was several years back, I was listening to some preaching online, and the pastor was like, how you handle your stuff. You're like, you had a rumor, somebody said you have a HIV. Do you have HIV? No. Then what is your issue? Because you're going to, I heard you said I have HIV, and at that time I was like, but now I'm like, it's true. I mean, you want to say I slept with 20 men. I mean, do you? Because I will not give you the validation to come and ask you, no, because that's what they're always looking for you to confront them, for you to acknowledge they said it. So sometimes when you lie low, they're dying inside, like, I'm waiting for her to come. She never bothers. If, in fact, you meet them and like, how have you been? You look nice. And like, oh my goodness, didn't she hear what I said? So sometimes don't give them the time of the day. I mean, life, there's so many things happening. The least you can do is start talking to a hater, making that hater sweet, as Ivy said.
When someone, when you post a picture online and someone decides to comment on, how they want you or how your body is making them want you, as long as that comment is not, so outright after, because they usually say, post ni kutafuta. But we post for ourselves, right? So as long as it's not welcome, it's harassment. It might not be, violence to the extreme, but it's harassment. And, I don't think you can control what, people say in that regard, but you can delete it. Because another thing I've learned about the online presence, how the first few people to comment set the pace for the rest of the people to come. Sometimes no one is bullying you until someone says that line. Kama iyo line iliambiwa ya Rurashio, just one person said it, then everyone came to TikTok to tell me that. And I'm like, me napenda Rurashio, So if you see a comment and it makes you feel some sort of way, just delete it. There's no shame in, as I've said, protecting your space. You do whatever you need to do on your account with your internet money to be comfortable when you're there. So, that's how to deal with that. I feel like I've been talked about a lot even before I came into the limelight. And what I've come to learn is that you cannot control someone's perception of you. So even addressing the rumors, okay, I'm 50-50 on this, because You had an episode with, can I say her name?
Yes.
Maureen Waitito.
Yes.
And for her, when she went through her time of trolling, she decided to set the record straight. She did a video to post facts. And of course, it came with a lot, oh, don't bring your business online, but it's already online. So if you feel the need to, if your heart is telling you to set the record straight, I would say do it. But trust me, as Cecilia and Lillian have said, the validation is in your response. Most of these things, when you don't say anything about it, it goes away. And unfortunately for women, the go-to way for anyone to try and pull you down is to say you're promiscuous. But you know yourself. And the people who know you as well. There's no need to, you don't need to pay attention to that. If it's a group with 250 people, just because it has 250 people doesn't mean all of them have seen whatever has been written. Some people haven't seen, some people don't care, some people don't believe it. So just let it be. But if it's I'm an advocate for doing what your heart wants. If it's what your heart wants to defend yourself, to set the record straight, do it. But most of the times, these people who are spreading the rumor don't care about the truth. They care about your reaction to it. And finally, one thing I like to, the reality of life is that in every step of your life, from school to work to, I guess now as parents, to being your parent-teacher day, all those things, you'll encounter other humans. And as I've said, not everyone will like you. So you have to decide, will you always go to HR anytime someone anakusumbua online? I don't think it's especially in our country, sadly, it's not a solution per se, because you might also get dismissed because of that. They might use it as, punish is the first intern to be talked about, such things. It doesn't make it right, but they might use it to get you out of a position that you deserve. So as Lillian said, just one thing I know, kindness actually kills. It melts someone's, when someone is unnecessarily mean to you and you meet them with kindness, and in this regard, for me, the kindness would be, I like to say, salamu ni za Mungu. Kwa hivyo, let's say this person is bullying you online, kesho you have to meet them. Kesho when you meet them, hi, good morning. Whether they answer or not is none of your business, but keep doing it. The fact that you're unbothered or that you're nice enough to still come and be like, hi, or bye, all that, they'll be like, ay, honey, she didn't say what I said yesterday. And again, all of these people just want attention and validation. So when you starve them of that, they probably will stop. So don't let anyone's attitude towards you or perception towards you make you miss out on what you truly deserve. Where you are, you deserve to be there. And most of the times, you're not there permanently. Even that person with a permanent job bullying you is not there permanently. So just, learn to, as I've said, when you're secure in yourself, you know who you are. If someone is bullying you or telling you things that are not true about you, just ignore them. Focus on the people who are making you feel in the same office, who are making you feel safe, who are teaching you things, who are making you grow. Wachana na huyo mmoja. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
So they say every good thing has to come to an end, and this session has come to an end. I want to thank my guests. Thank you so much. I was like, will Lillian make it? Will Ivy make it? And I'm like, God, take control. And he did beyond that. So I'm very grateful. We've started the 16 days of activism. We have a campaign running online. For those who are on Twitter, please help us talk about this thing. Help us talk about online GBV. Help us create awareness. Help us create spaces for when your time comes, we'll find it better than we did.